This is Gayle, and she has been forgiven. And today she comes to worship the Lord. She wants you to know that she's been forgiven. She wants you to know what has gone on in her life. And so just give us a little bit. Don't take 50 minutes, but give us a little bit of your background, where you come from. Gayle Thompson, I should start with.
Okay, I have 2 kids. I see one of them back there. I'm from Pennsylvania originally. I've been here about 16 years. I was raised Catholic. When I moved down here, I've been to 2 other churches the past few years. Always felt like I believed in God and knew about God, but was searching to find a place where I could find a deeper relationship.
So we ate dinner the other night, and at dinner you mentioned that you had your life had been characterized by kind of struggling with moralism. You just wanted to do the right thing, and I get that. I think a lot of us are like that. But give us a little story about your journey of trying to do the right thing on your own power.
Well, I was raised to always go to church, and I tried to do that. I felt like throughout my life I had always tried to do the right thing and be the best I could. But a lot of the times I met a lot of frustration because I prayed for things that I thought would make my life better, instead of praying for God's will. And so that led to a lot of frustration, and sometimes I felt like God wasn't listening or didn't care enough to help me.
Did you ever feel like you were angry with God?
Absolutely.
So that kind of brings us up to the last few years. And we've been talking in the last few weeks, and you were saying that, I was trying to figure out, what has God been doing in your life? How has He worked in your heart? How has He drawn you to Himself? And part of your story is that you've been recently going through a time in your life where it was really hard, it was damaging to you. And so how did God use that to bring you to Himself? And this I'll tell you guys, this is still new for her, this whole damaging part of her life, and so it's hard for you to talk about still, right? But it's part of your story. It's amazing.
I'm just gonna keep looking at Mary because she's just like, you're ready to cry. Don't make me cry. Yeah, probably the past 6 years of my life have been in a very unhealthy situation where I lost a lot of my confidence and self-esteem.
Yeah.
And just kind of lost myself as a person. So I just, have been trying to move in a direction where I could find some peace in my life.
Yeah.
Because what most people that friends and family know the past few years, it's all instead of peace.
So you came to Impact Church, and how did you hear about Impact Church? How do you?
We've known Randy for some time now. Anybody that knows Randy, he's very persistent. And so when I got an email about the the Christmas Eve service, we decided to come. And I came 2 other times after that, and every time I came, somebody was being baptized.
Yeah. So, yeah, let me tell y'all about that. This is a trip. She comes on Christmas Eve, and Jeff Weirs was getting baptized that day, and he stood up here, and by the way, he didn't make it without crying. I mean, he was crying. Amazing story about how God rescued him. And then, so she took a couple weeks off, and when she came back the next time, Rob Rickles and Rick Buer were being baptized, right? And so she heard their story, and if you were here, it was amazing service. And then she took another week or 2 off and came back, and when she came back this time, Stephanie Rankin was being baptized, and her story really moved your heart, right? Tell us, I mean, she was saying the same thing you are. I just want peace. So what about her story resonated with you and made you?
Just looking at her, I just felt like her and I, not knowing her, just the way she held herself, like we were in a similar situation. I felt the same way. And so just watching all these people up here having these major life transformations just gave me the courage to, I filled out a card to talk to Donnie, but then when I saw him, I just figured, while I had some courage, I was just going to walk up to him and just ask him if I could come meet with him.
Yeah, so at the end of the service, we're going to give you guys a chance to fill your cards out, put them in the basket. She just held on to her card. She's like, I didn't put my card in the basket. And she came and found me. I was outside, I think. And she's like, here's my card. You know, and like, all right. So we set something up. A couple days go by, and you came to my office, and I'll never forget what you said when you came in. You're like, hey, how are you? I want peace. You know? And as a pastor, you're like, yes. I know where this is headed. And so tell us about that day.
That was a great day for me. We talked for several hours, I think. But I just, after talking to you, I just felt like a weight was lifted off my shoulders, and I just knew things were going to be different. And my life has definitely taken a positive change.
Yeah.
Still working on things, but
Sure.
it's really just affected every area of my life.
Do you remember what it was like when you asked Jesus to save you? Is it a blur?
It was a blur, but it's just completely, I couldn't even talk. I was just sobbing. Relief.
I was curious when you heard this story of this woman weeping and worshiping. Did you think to yourself?
I was thinking you picked it for me.
What's been different since you gave your life to the Lord?
Just the way I think about things, my attitude. It's, like I said, it's just hit every area of my life. And I feel like I'm starting to be myself again.
You found peace?
Have confidence. I definitely found peace.
Right. Well, Gayle comes today to be baptized. She wants you to know that Jesus has saved her. She wants you to know her story, and she's nervous. This was a big deal for her. She ran from me for a little while. Every time I would call her, like, yeah, we'll get that baptism thing taken care of. Don't worry, you know. And but it's hard. It's a hard thing to come up in front. And we gave her the option of doing it on video or even having someone read her story. She's like, no, I want to do it live. And so encourage her. Let her know how much her story meant to you. Because Gayle, the thing that you may not realize is just look at it. You can look at them now because you're done talking. Is that there's so many people sitting out there right now who are in your shoes. And they desperately want to know peace the same way you do. I want to know peace, right? And so you have encouraged us. And so now it's time to baptize you. Gayle, this is an amazing opportunity for me to baptize you. You're a special woman, and God's got huge, huge plans for you. A big purpose. You're a great mom. Now that you have Jesus living in you, things will be different. And our church, all these people that you see, now you can see them look out. Yeah, all these people want to walk with you. We want to be part of your life. We want to love you and be in community with you. So hold your nose. Gayle, my sister, I baptize you in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, dead to sin, alive in Christ.